Good morning, class 9. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing great and fine and taking care of yourselves and getting ready for your exams, term 1. And you must have had a great Vishwakarma Puja. You enjoyed yourself, and we are back today with packing. So, on English. So, it's by Jerome, the story writer and the author. And we want to do this. I'll just read, and after that I'll start explain. Like I have told you a basic information about packing and how we want to go on trips and how we get. The main thing about this poem is we should not boast about ourselves. In life we should not say something. Your praise, let people praise you instead of you boasting about yourselves. So boasting about yourself is called false lips. I say something which people have to believe that what I am. So what I am, people are going to say, right? Not me myself. So I'll just start reading, and word meanings I'll get into it later. First I'll read, I'll explain, and after that we'll do it part by part. Now, sometimes we get irritated while packing. Sometimes when friends are there, some people just want to relax. Okay, you do it, I'm sitting and seeing. And things get wrong, and when we want to unpack, we don't find our things in place. So this is all about the story, and let's see what happens. It's a extract from the Three Men in a Boat, and so let's do that. I said I would pack. I rather pride myself on my packing. Again, boasting. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris, the two friends, and told them they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. They fell into the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. George spread himself over the easy chair, and Harris cocked his legs on the table. This was hardly what I intended, but what I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job, and that Harris and George should potter about under my direction. I pushing them aside every now and then with, "Oh, you, here, let me do it. There you are, simple enough." Really teaching them, as you might say. They're taking it in the way they did irritated me. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I am working. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. He would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. Now, I am not like that. I can sit still and see another man slaving and working. I want to get up and superintend and walk around with my hands in my pockets and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature. I can't help it. However, I did not say anything, but started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last, and I sat on it and strapped it. "Ain't you going to put the boots in?" said Harris. And I looked around and found I had forgotten them. That's just like Harris. He couldn't have said a word until I got the bag shut and strapped. Of course. And George laughed, one of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. They do make me so wild. I opened the bag and packed the boots in. And then, just I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I have packed my toothbrush. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I'm traveling and makes my life misery. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. And in the morning, I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it. And it's the last thing I turn out of the bag. And then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now. I could not find it. I rummaged the things up into much the same state that must have been before the world was created. And when chaos reigned, of course, I found George's and Harris's 18 times over, but I couldn't find my one own. I put the things back one by one. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then I found it inside a boot. I repacked once more. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't, and I slammed the bag shut and strapped it. And found that I had packed my spectacles in it. I had to reopen it. It got shut up finally at 10:05 p.m. And then there remained the hampers to do. Harris said that he would be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time and thought he and George has better to do the rest. And I agreed and sat down and they had a go. They began in a light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do it. I made no comment. I'll come back in the next video.